how the UA's only all-male a cappella group is preparing for nationals.
Hear why some people are calling for restrictions regulating e-cigarettes.
And learn how the women's basketball team is shaping up this season. All this and more tonight on Wildcast.
Live from the University of Arizona UATV studio, this is Wildcast.
Halloween edition of Wildcast. I'm Sarina Nafarrate.
And I'm Danielle Carpenter. Thanks for joining us tonight.
The University of Arizona's a cappella group, Catcall, lost some of their most involved members to graduation last year. But with 5 new participants, the group is looking forward to competition. Wildcast reporter Ann Eloriaga has an inside look at their expectations.
The University of Arizona's all-male a cappella group is back for the 2013-2014 academic year. Catcall, who was formed in 2008, performs in the Student Union most Monday evenings and rehearses 4 times a week. Catcall just finished their 2013-2014 auditions and are ready for another year of harmony. They are also preparing for the ICCA competition in February.
I think it's just been exciting to see the group grow, not only in numbers, but also in our presence on campus. And also 2 years ago, the group placed second in our regional and moved on to semifinals in the ICCA competition, so that was great.
Catcall successfully competed in the regional and semifinal rounds of the ICCA national tournament in the past 2 years.
I think we've come a long way every single year as far as growing as a group and becoming tighter. I really like the dynamic that we have now, but I think what we really need to do is just focus on working a little harder in rehearsal, trying to stay focused, because we have all the potential in the world. It's just going to be a matter of showing that.
Catcall's president and musical director envisioned Catcall reaching national recognition. After only being on campus for 5 years, Catcall is gaining momentum by adding group members and increasing their audience size. I am Anna Loriaga, reporting for Wildcast.
They sound really, really good.
Yeah, if you think they sounded good, you should see them in person. It's wonderful.
Oh, I have yet to do that.
Really? They actually were just at a performance recently. It was pretty good.
All right. The Make-A-Wish Foundation helps kids all over the country fulfill their dreams. Wildcast reporter Cordero McMurray has the details on how one UA sorority raised funding for the foundation to pursue its goals.
Alpha Chi Omega holds their annual event called Casino Night, in which students pay to attend and proceeds go to the Make-A-Wish Foundation. The sorority hopes to grant 2 wishes from this event by reaching their goal of $13,000, in which they met last year.
Students can come to this table and grab poker chips and cash them in for wonderful drawing tickets.
With lots of food, fun, and entertainment, students see it as a fun time away from their studies.
I thought this event would just be a great old time where we would do some gambling and maybe win some money or prizes to take home. And it sounded like it was for a good cause and just a very fun night. My high school used to do a lot of casino nights.
Reporting from the University of Arizona for Wildcast News, I'm Cordero McMurray.
The Pride of Arizona Marching Band hosted their annual University of Arizona Band Day this past Saturday at Arizona Stadium. UA Band Day is a community and educational outreach program for schools throughout the Southwest region. This year, 47 high schools participated in the all-day event. The bands were awarded ratings ranking from fair to superior with distinction. The UA Marching Band also performed during the event. Their show for the 2013 season was The Beatles Strike Back. The first UA Band Day was started in 1954.
The Arbol de la Vida Residence Hall was available to non-honors students for the first time this year. The dorm was first opened in 2011 strictly for honors students, but found itself unable to fill up its 719 spaces during enrollment this fall. This year, both honors and non-honors students living side by side, and has some returning residents noticing the difference. Returners have reported a noticeable increase in noise level and a generally less academic atmosphere than last year. However, the UA's residence hall are at an all-time low with many dorms left with empty rooms. So it looks like Arbol de la Vida will continue to stay open to anyone who wants to live there, regardless of its intended standards.
After the break, see what had protesters gathering at the IRS offices last week.
Hi, it's David Hasselhoff, the Hawk. Get Hawk with UATV. Stay tuned. Don't change the dial.
I see those clones looking down on me, but unlike those clones, this dog is free. Oh Lord, it's a dog's life. Oh Lord, it's a dog's life, dog's life.
Welcome back, and now we'll be turning over to weather reporter Shay Sorensen for a look at this week's forecast. Shay?
Good evening, Wildcats. It was pretty breezy today as we reached winds of up to 30 miles per hour. All this wind is a result of a trough digging down towards the southwest. Tomorrow the high will be 69 degrees, which is the coolest we've seen for daytime highs since April. For those of you with early morning classes, I suggest you bring a jacket because it is going to be chilly. The low for tomorrow night will be a shocking 42 degrees. We can thank the cold polar air associated with this trough for the fall-like temperatures. On Halloween, we can expect a high of 74 and a low of 43. For those of you planning on dressing up, I'd suggest adding a jacket to your costume because it's going to be scary and chilly of a night. Temperatures will slowly pick back up into the low 80s this weekend. As we head into next week, however, temps will lower to the mid to low 70s. Expect clear skies the rest of the week, and starting Sunday, you can expect mostly cloudy skies. That is all I have for you, Wildcats, and have a wonderful Halloween. Back to you.
E-cigarettes are popping up more and more around the country, with users lauding the smoke-free alternative which allows them to smoke when and where they wish. Wildcast reporter Hannah Polonik has a look at why some people are calling for more restrictions on their usage.
You may have seen someone puffing on what appears to be a cigarette at a restaurant or a movie theater, only to realize that it's actually an electronic cigarette. The number of e-cigarette users, or as they call themselves vapors, has increased dramatically in the past few years, and Wells Fargo analysts are anticipating the industry will grow to $1 billion in 2013. E-cigarettes do not contain tobacco and thus do not produce the harmful chemicals and carcinogens found in traditional cigarettes. Vendors emphasize that users don't inhale smoke, rather they inhale vapor, don't smell, and others aren't subjected to secondhand smoke. Many people are using e-cigarettes as a tool to quit smoking.
I went from, probably in a 2-week period, I went from almost 2 packs a day to right around a pack, and within 3.5 weeks, I was down to like 5 a day. I mean, I wasn't able to go from cigarettes to e-cig right away, so it took a step down process, but yeah, it did.
Virtually nothing is known about the effects of using e-cigarettes, but many experts agree that if it gets people to stop smoking traditional cigarettes, it's a good thing.
Appliances, if they are interested in using e-cigarettes as a quit aid. I am saying that for now, until we get some additional information, that if it works for them to help them quit, then I say go for it.
The boom in the e-cigarette industry has some health advocates worried, mostly because e-cigarettes are not regulated by the Food and Drug Administration. Last month, 40 attorneys general, including Arizona Attorney General Tom Horn, sent an open letter to the FDA urging for restrictive regulations on e-cigarettes. The attorneys general claimed that unregulated advertisements glamorized smoking and that e-cigarette flavors attracted minors. The letter also asked the FDA to regulate online sales to prevent the sale of e-cigarettes to those under 18. Although most states already have some regulations in place, the attorneys general would like to see regulations at the federal level. The FDA is expected to come to a decision about regulations at the end of the month. For Wildcast, I'm Hannah Polinick.
Well, now you don't have to worry about any of the secondhand smoke.
I know, I've noticed a lot of people on campus are actually getting those, which is nice.
Yeah, I mean, they're pretty obvious when somebody has an e-cigarette. So.
I know, they're funky looking. A group of dreamers burned their high school diplomas yesterday in front of the Arizona Attorney General's office as a sign of protest and in support of the U.S. DREAM Act bill. These dreamers are young people brought to the country illegally as children who are now fighting for immigration reform. The group protested Attorney General Tom Horn's decision to file a lawsuit that could possibly limit college opportunities for thousands of dreamers. Some dreamers say that this decision makes their diplomas worthless and forces them into minimum wage jobs.
Protesters gathered last week in front of the IRS offices in downtown Tucson to rally over the proposed fair tax movement. Wildcast reporter Chelsea Hemphill went to investigate.
According to fairtaxforall.org, the fair tax bill is a 23% sales tax that is added to only new goods that you buy. This will take the place of income taxes and payroll taxes. This bill will be the same across the lower class, the middle class, and upper class divisions of people.
The fair tax bill eliminates the Social Security tax, Medicare tax, income taxes, self-employment taxes, and corporate taxes.
Be paying taxes. So we have new revenue streams right away that will be coming into the country. And interesting enough, that if you can think of it this way, if there are no corporation taxes, all the corporations now that are overseas will be coming back to the United States, will be a magnet for corporations around the world to come back here. What that means is good jobs, high-paying jobs, especially for young people, college students, to now have an opportunities waiting for them to move into, because there'll be so many new corporations here under a fair tax situation, whereas under the IRS situation, the corporations can't wait to get out of the country, or they pay cheap labor costs. And so under the fair tax, we think this is really good for the new generation coming in, going to school, working hard, studying hard, and making sure that they then will have an opportunity to really get a good job.
Interpreted from moneycrashers.com and fairtax.org, the different aspects of the bill is that your full paycheck will be given to you. There will not be a tax on used goods, so stores like Bookmans and Savers will generate more revenue. The market economy will either be helped by the amount of goods purchased because of this tax bill, or detrimentally hurt by people turning to other countries to buy goods. The IRS will no longer be needed if this bill is passed, so 30,000 people will lose jobs. Government-funded programs such as WIC and SNAP will still be provided for. On top of government-funded programs, there will be a stipend for each household depending on how many people are in the house.
Secondary market coming out. You'll have more Bookmans, you'll have more Savers, you'll have more thrift stores, because anything used is no longer taxed. So it helps with reuse and recycling.
The Fair Tax IRS protesters are coming on campus November 20th at 11 a.m. They suggest that you wear black for the death of the IRS. I am Chelsea Hemphill with the University of Arizona Wildcast.
Stay with us after the break to hear from some new recruits on the UA women's basketball team.
I'm Derek Williams, the former U of A Wildcat. You're watching UA TV. Don't change the channel.
UA TV,
3. When I turn on the TV, I turn it to channel 3, cause they got all the greatest shows that I've been waiting to see. It's entertaining to me, cause it's pertaining to me and all the other Wildcats in the student body. We're broadcasting live to all the residence halls, so all y'all's in the halls, turn your TVs on to channel 3 for Sheezy, so you can see me and all the other happy people down at UATV 3.
The UA women's basketball team is looking forward to the new season. Wildcast reporter Molly Baker has an inside look at the players' expectations for this year.
On November 17th, the U of A women's basketball team held their annual media day in the Lowe's room of the McHale Memorial Center.
It's this early in the season, you have some bumps in the road, but I think overall we've made a lot of strides forward. So our team is ready to go. I think we want to show everybody what we're capable of doing and looking forward to the new challenges that this year is going to bring.
Freshman Deja James agrees the team is more than ready to take the court.
I'm feeling great. Our off-season's been great so far. We all push each other, go hard. And I'm just really excited to see all of our hard work pay off in the season.
After a disappointing season last year, the Cats lost their star player, Davlin White, who was said to be the second best player the program had ever seen. However, Coach Butts is confident that her returning players and new recruits have the skills to take the Pac-12 by storm.
Right. Obviously, when you lose someone who could score as well as she can score and do some different things, it's going to be challenging. But we feel pretty good about the cast that we have here. And the one thing I do know, you don't go out and try to replace someone of Dalvin's ability in one person and looking for that. I think this group that you see here today is up for that challenge, and they've all shown in practice that they're ready for it.
A senior, Carissa Crutchfield, is projected to be one of the team's leading players this year.
I think if you step up, that was a great player, but we just have to step up, do our part, and just lead as an example for the younger ones.
Our older players are really great leaders. We start off a little slow. They talk to us and help us get through it so we can get to that level where we need to be at for season. So they're showing great leadership.
What's that message you want to send from Arizona women's basketball to Tucson and beyond?
If you want to see a winning team, come watch us play.
Come support the Lady Wildcats at their first game against the Fort Lewis Skyhawks on November 2nd at 3 p.m. For Wildcast, I'm Molly Baker. Bear down.
Breakout Studios is located at Stone University and offers a variety of alternate exercise opportunities. The main source of exercise offered at Breakout is dancing. Dancers of all levels are welcome and have a variety of different classes. It is a fun and unique way to stay in shape, and many students are taking advantage.
I love working at Breakout Studios. It was the first studio that I came to when I moved to Tucson, and I instantly fell in love. It felt like home, and I don't find that often at dance studios. You always get the judgmental looks or the very sassy people, and it's not like that here. It's very welcoming, and we have all ages dancing, so if you're older and want to come take class,
it's a good environment because you're not in there with the teeny boppers and the little babies. It's all ages, so there will always be someone who's close to your age. I also love that we have everything here. We have technique classes, we have fitness classes, we have gym classes. It's all everything. So whatever your movement is, you can find a class to take. So I think that that's a really unique thing about Breakout Studios.
And now we'll be turning over to sports reporter Chelsea Moe for a look at this week's sports. Chelsea?
Hello, Wildcats. Arizona women's golf had a successful weekend at the Landfall Tradition this past Sunday. The 3-day, 3-round event was held in North Carolina. Sophomore Lindsay Weaver finished in a 5-way tie for 22nd place overall. Arizona women's soccer tied Washington 2-2 in a double overtime duel this past Sunday here in Tucson. This game was very exciting as sophomore Caitlin Lopez tied up the game with only 16 seconds left remaining. Our Wildcats outshot the Huskies 22-7. Our football team plays Game 8 this Saturday, November 2nd at 12:30 p.m. in California. Also in football, senior quarterback B.J. Denker was announced Pac-12 Offensive Player of the Week. Our UA basketball team beat Augustana in an expedition game Monday night 84-52. The official basketball season begins November 8th. That's a wrap for sports, guys. Back to you.
Thanks, Chelsea. As always, thanks for tuning in to Wildcast. You can watch us anytime online at uatv.arizona.edu or on our YouTube channel, UATV CH3.
We'll see you next week for another edition of Wildcast, and happy Halloween.